Battlefield 6 just wrapped up its 2 weekends of open beta play, and well, the second one was not quite as successful, not quite as well attended as the initial week, but honestly, coming out of it, this is going to be a huge game. This is going to be a massive upon release, but it's going to be quite a long time, and well, as the headline from The Gamer points out, we need a third weekend because, this all wraps up midway through August, and the game doesn't drop until the 10th of October, and honestly, there's not much going on in gaming between now and then because it is, I think, the biggest game to release here in an upcoming future. I'm probably missing a couple of things, and realistically, and I know that a lot of those sports games are going to go on to be, the best performing games of the year, but when it comes to big tentpole releases like the floodgates were supposed to kick open in 2025. A lot of the big studios were, staying out of the race in 2024. But holy crap, there's nothing going on anywhere. Okay, this entire, I said it before, and I've said it quite a lot this week. There's nothing going on in anything in 2025. What a disaster! So yeah, if something like Battlefield 6, if the Battlefield franchise can come back from the brinks of despair, good on them. Let's just hope they don't outreach their grasp, okay? Because we've seen this happen before. A game just absolutely take over and then eventually become a pale facsimile of itself. Well, let's just hope this doesn't happen. So yes, we need a third weekend. Battlefield 6 fans want to try larger maps before launch because, that's one thing I can say about this, okay? Because you're wrapping up your open beta period, you're launching in October, you'll take all of your good information, you'll take all of the, data that you recorded over these past couple of weekends, and then you'll use it to refine the ultimate release experience in a couple months' time, and that's a good thing, okay? That's proper. As long as they do that, okay, there shouldn't be anything standing between Battlefield and its success towards the end of the year and potentially overtaking or at least digging deeply into the hold that Call of Duty holds over the military shooter genre. Yes, Battlefield 6 beta has come to a close with the second weekend finishing up early today. Well, on Sunday. And, I've got the past, 24 hour, 48 hours, the past weekend of data that's right here. And it didn't quite get to the 521,000 concurrent players on Steam. But, it's still got over 400,000 concurrent players. And, over the rest of the weekend, while it was all still operational, it was still capping out well into the 300,000 mark. So, people are excited and people are playing the damn game, which is more than you can say about a lot of the stuff that's come out this year. It'll come out to just great success and then completely and totally fall off a cliff. Monster Hunter Wilds. It'll be a couple of months before we return to the war-torn streets of Cairo and Washington, D.C., leveling entire cities with a few C4 charges and blah, 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 all that stuff. We need a third weekend to try an actual large map for complete feedback. Okay, interesting. A major complaint with the beta so far is how small the maps are, each of which emphasizes close quarters infantry combat. There hasn't been a true showcase of traditional large-scale battlefield warfare with all the toys out to play. Because I've seen a couple of vehicles being used in matches. I didn't play the game or anything like that, but I've seen a little bit of the gameplay that's out there. Some jets that are out there, some tanks, some APCs, some Humvees that are out there, and it looks good. It looks quite responsive, and some of the glitches are few and far between, but it was quite a polished beta, at least from what I've seen. Obviously, there's going to be some other problems that are out there, and we've talked about the cheating, so it all looks good so far. But from the people that are veterans of this series, it's an incomplete snapshot, and the fact that they're holding back on some of the more prominent Battlefield aspects, well, that could be a little bit of a red flag. Okay, it's really confusing that they do 2 weekends and not a single big map. Liberation Peak is open, but even it feels a tad small. EA should let us try at least one really big map. Liberation Peak isn't big enough. Echoed, another user on the subreddit that they're pulling quotes from. I'm on the fence about buying it at launch because of this. The small, packed, chaotic maps are exhausting. There needs to be a push for more teamwork. We absolutely need another weekend. That's not just me wanting to play more. I really feel like another weekend of feedback is needed. And it's possible that this does happen. Okay, they end up, and I've seen some other posts about Battlefield collecting data about what maps they want to see. And obviously, if the bigger ones are the ones that are getting recommended, we might see something in September. Who knows? Nothing's for sure. This is not even a rumor. I'm just simply speculating based on what we've seen before. Or they're just going to, hold all of that stuff back for simple anticipation for the release show some more trailers, show some more footage between now and then. And I know, recently, specifically at time of recording, Gamescom is going on right now, and we've had a formal announcement for Black Ops 6. I haven't seen anything like that. Like, it just literally went live at the time that I was recording a bunch of stuff. So yeah, I've seen some posts, I've seen some things. But yes, Call of Duty Black Ops 7 to release a month after Battlefield, which is interesting because when Call of Duty was at its full powers and Battlefield was potentially on the wane, they would try to butt up right close to that stuff. Because what is it? Legendarily, how, one of the best shooters of all time, I'm not being hyperbolic about this, but when Titanfall 2 came out, what was the release schedule on that one? There was a Battlefield, Battlefield 5 came out, then Titanfall 2, and then you had Call of Duty within, 3 or 4 weeks of one another. It absolutely snuffed out the candle that was Titanfall 2, and Black Ops, Call of Duty would just go on and trounce the market because Battlefield was definitely on a downslide because of poor marketing. But this is interesting how Call of Duty accurately assesses their position in the market, but how they're looking at the reaction to Battlefield as well. They want to put that 1 month buffer between the release of Battlefield, thinking that, hey, it's going to come out with a bunch of stuff, but then we've also heard other reports that that Call of Duty, keep mixing this stuff up, Black Ops 7, there we go, Black Ops 7, Call of Duty Black Ops 7 is going to release with a fairly significant number of maps and a fairly significant number of features. It's almost like they know that their position as top dog in this market is getting significantly challenged. So yes, I would consider that to be quite a good thing. Sources and leaks left, right, and center have unofficially confirmed that Call of Duty Black Ops 7 launches on November 14th. The 2025 edition of the franchise is a sequential sequel to 2024's Black Ops 6, but is an actual follow-up to Black Ops 2, which sees the series head in a more futuristic direction. Yeah, that all makes sense. Call of Duty leak season continues. Our more recent exclusive covered the incredible reveal that Black Ops 7 campaign and multiplayer merging for a 32-player mode on Avalon. And I think that there's a fairly ridiculous number of 6v6, I think it was 16 6v6 maps as well. And yeah, if they're going to be doing a proper sequel to Black Ops 2 campaign, I mean, better late than never, and it really seems like they're trying to up their game, which, yeah, guess what, guys? Competition breeds innovation, and this is a great thing. It's just, let's just hope that once again, Battlefield doesn't get too big for its britches, because Battlefield is aiming to become an annual release within 5 to 6 years, it's claimed. Oh no. You were just starting to get back into people's good graces, and the last time you guys seen any success was when you let the likes of Battlefield 1 breathe, okay? You rehabbed the image of Battlefield 5. You gave it years to develop into a very well-regarded shooter. When you were going Battlefield 3 to 4 to 1, and then putting Hardline in there, when you were making it an annual release franchise, that's when you started to run into problems. Call of Duty has been walking that tightrope for a very long time. They have been successful on launch, but then their player base absolutely dwindles. Only Warzone is keeping them viable, but eventually the bubble will burst on these battle royale style games. And if you're aiming for annual release in a gaming landscape that looks so uncertain in 2025, who the fuck knows what it's going to look like in the 30s, which is wild to say, but we're heading in that direction. In a new video, industry analyst Michael Pachter, that's a name I haven't heard for a minute, but claims that the general manager of the Battlefield franchise, Byron Beatty, has told him that EA wants Battlefield to be an annual title. Of course they do. Of course EA does. According to Pachter, he's spoken to Beatty, said that EA's goal is to have 3 studios working on Battlefield franchise on a 3-year cycle. Great, here we go. So that they can release annually. Unsurprisingly, this is identical to Call of Duty's annual release model, but Pachter claims that the franchise is still 5 to 6 years away from back-to-back annual releases, probably because they're waiting to see what the success of 6 is going to be upon release before they allocate too many resources. Insider Gaming reached out to Byron Beatty for comment, but hasn't heard a response quite yet. Yeah, as it shows right here. So, okay, personally, so this is authors aside. Okay, a little bit of opinion. He finds it hard to believe Battlefield 6, which has been developed by 4 individual studios, DICE, Motive, Ripple Effect, and Criterion, appear to be, the path to success. However, I believe that an annual Battlefield release could significantly harm the franchise and its quality. Yeah, exactly. And the way that EA is going, well, I mean, how long before we get BioWare's Battlefield, or BioWare ends up becoming a support studio for Battlefield. I think their future plans, they're setting up for multiple studios and multiple support studios to have annual Battlefield releases. I could definitely see that happening, especially if they have as spectacular of a release for the proper game as they did for the open beta. I think that it would be an absolute assurity, because EA has had to weather the failures of Anthem, Dragon Age, the Veilguard, and I'm sure I'm missing out on a few in between, but yeah, they've been, EA's been rather quiet in recent years. And so if they end up getting a hit with Battlefield 6, you know that old EA, okay, for as much as I've wanted to give them credit, and, you know, especially with their handling of Stop It with the Battlefield resurgence and renewed interest, at the end of the day, this is still EA after all, the evil empire of the gaming industry. So yeah, they're not cagey enough to let sleeping dogs lie. 2K is, but that's another topic for another time. They will drive this into the ground again. You have managed to revive excitement in Battlefield. Don't fuck it up again. So with all that said, thank you all very much for the gift of your time. I've been Don Consuelo. I want you to follow your gut and get after it. Take care, everyone.